Are you trapped in a toxic relationship? I have been before. It's nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of us face this. But what can we do to get out of these relationships with, hopefully, our sanity and our dignity still intact? Stick around and we'll talk about this. Hi, I'm Marna. Thank you for joining me. So I know I normally talk about manifestation, but this was actually a question that I got from one of my clients, and it is something that is worth sharing with my audience in general, because I know many of us face this, whether we want to admit it or not. Toxic relationships. The relationship where it feels like the love is all one-sided, or even worse, the relationship where you feel like you're on a yo-yo string where you are worshipped one moment and reviled the next. Frequently, these relationships are with people who have their own issues, narcissists, sociopaths, or people who just plain don't care and are using you. And it doesn't matter how much you love them. It doesn't matter how pure and true your love is. It does not matter what you put into the relationship, because they will continue to take from you and use you as long as you allow it. It's a hard truth. And it's a truth that many of us never want to admit that we're facing. I mean, who wants to say, this person that I have given my entire love to isn't worthy of it? This person that I have done everything for is using me. None of us want to say that. None of us want to be in this place. But you ended up here, so let's talk about how to get out. Because let's face it, baby doll, a toxic relationship not only is not healthy for you, it's not healthy for the other person either. I mean, really, you catering to their toxicity prevents them from having the moment that they need to recognize their own behavior and grow beyond it. The more you enable them to be toxic to you, the longer it's going to take for them to be able to see what changes need to be made in their lives. And it may keep them trapped in this cycle of toxic negative behavior forever, or at least for as long as you enable it. That's not healthy. So, the first thing to do when you're dealing with someone who's toxic is start setting boundaries. And these boundaries are for them as much as they are for you. So it's very, very important that you stick to the boundary once you set it. A boundary that is not enforced does not do any good. So, be clear and communicate your boundary. This behavior is not acceptable. If you indulge in this behavior, I will not react. If you continue indulging in this behavior, I will give you one warning. If you continue after that, I will leave. Period. End of statement. No negotiating, no arguing, just a statement. I do not accept when you call me names. If you call me a name, I will not respond to it. If you call me a name a second time, I will remind you, that is not a name I respond to. And it is not a name you are allowed to use for me. If you do it a third time, that is going to tell me this is a deliberate choice on your part to demean me, to make me feel bad, and I will not allow you to continue treating me in such a way. And then pack your bags and leave. And yes, there will be tears, there will be protestations, there will be all the excuses and all the promises in the world, and you have heard every bit of it before. I know you have, because we all have. There will be gaslighting. There will be telling you that you're crazy, that you're overly dramatic, that you are making this up, that you are tearing the family apart. You're not. you are holding this person accountable for their actions and their choices. It's something that probably should have been done a very long time ago, and probably by people in their lives long before you showed up. It is by forcing this accountability that they have any hope of ever seeing that is their own behavior that has caused all the problems in their life that they blamed on you. The really sad thing about being in a relationship with someone who's toxic is quite often they don't know how toxic they are. They come from a background where what is so damaging to your psyche is the norm for them. And it is in facing this that you have to face that they are not going to change. They are not going to suddenly get better. They're not going to go back to that honeymoon phase where they treated you like you were made of gold. And that's another hard thing to face. So, when you're ready to stop the pain and stop the gaslighting and stop being lied to and stop being treated like you aren't worth anything, when you are ready to leave your toxic relationship, set your boundary, hold to it for your own good, for the good of your children, for the good of the person who's treated you so badly. Hold to that boundary and then leave. I wish there was an easier way to do it, but I do try to be honest with you on this channel. So, I'm Marna. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you on the next video.